Good morning or afternoon. How's it going? Welcome to what is our Magic Day. I want to play Arena, but also I'm busy. So I got some scene boxes. They're gone. It's gone. Okay. I got the Final Fantasy the 8 and 15 scene boxes the other day because I forgot those existed. Randomly stumbled upon the stream. Welcome. Well, it literally just started, Wojtek. To the point where it hasn't been live for more than a minute. How are you doing? How's it going? I have some coffee with some peppermint candies that I put into my coffee, so I am living well. So we have a few decks I want to build. We've got. Come on. I know you want to. I'll refresh. Never mind, I'll wait. Let's go to Architect. Let's view... Was it this? Cool, that did work. Awesome. Leave. We've got a few decks. A lot of arcing. Survival Evolved or the there's an Ascension one, right? I need to change that category. First. Well, me and my first FF. Arc Survival Evolved, not Ascended. Your computer wouldn't even run it. So is it just that much? I'm going to assume then Ascended is the newer one. But maybe I could be wrong in that. Can't use. Yeah. So we've got a few decks that I need to brew and build. We've got Noctis, which is our only one from Final Fantasy 15. That's the one. Which deals with creatures entering mid-combat and attaching things to them. We have Safer, who is just a jerk. Whenever you attack a player, go to creature that player controls. Whenever a creature attacking one of your opponents becomes blocked by 2 or more creatures, the attacking creature gains Death Touch. So, you didn't meet the minimal specs. You have a Nitro 5 laptop, GTX 1660 Ti. Processor reaches 90 degrees on the ASE. This is caution territory. You know, that makes sense. I have both Arc Evolved and Ascended, and I want to play them eventually, but I also don't know. I think I just need to up and uninstall one of my gacha games. Because playing Genshin, Zenless, and a Honkai as well as a fourth one that I bounce between, gets a little rough. So he cares about, like, menace and stuff like that. First strike, as Squall enters, choose a number. Whenever one or more creatures attack one of your opponents, if any of them have power or toughness equal to the chosen number, Squall deals damage to the defender. Arc is a long game, man. Is this the one... Okay, question. Is either of these like an MMO open world, you are dinos, you attack other dinos? I feel like I've seen a game like that around somewhere, but I don't know if it's those games or not. Beginning of combat on your turn, gain control of target creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste. Whenever a creature you control but don't own dies, return it into play under its owner's control, and you draw a card. These are all so weird effects. Garland. Royal Kidnapper. This would go over into this. For sure, I think. Because when Garland enters, target opponent becomes a monarch. Whenever an opponent becomes the monarch, gain control of target creature as long as they are the monarch. So, you kidnap the king's child. That's pretty much how that goes. I have a base for Noctis built up. Except I need to cut so many things. You are not a dino. You tame dinos. It is not an MMO. It is a survival game. Okay, the other game I was thinking of is a different game then. Because I was looking... I've seen shorts on YouTube of, like, a game where you can be, like, a crocodile and attack a stegosaurus and stuff like that. But those are two different games. Alright. I didn't read Noctis, I realized. Whenever a creature you control enters during combat, you may attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. I want to do ninja things. So, like, put creatures into play during combat by returning untapped things. But also, things like whenever a creature attacks, make an attacking guy seem really good. Speaking of Adeline. Oh, that's so good, actually. Whenever you attack for each opponent, make a body attacking. Now, in Arc, the crocodile attacks you. Yeah, no, Arc is not the game I was talking about. I was referring to, there is a different game that I do not know then, where the Sarasuchus you can control the Sarasuchus. I wonder what that game was then. Hearing the Wii music is crazy right now. All right. Let me sort these equipment because, like, I want all of these, and 39 is not a good number to have in a 100 card deck. Okay, let's sort these into functional things. Probably not a good idea, but funny. Wants to be put onto Noctis. Arc has 7 canon maps: the Island, Scorched Earth, Aberration, Extinction, Genesis 1, Genesis 2, Aquatica, and the further you go, the more creatures are just pure fantasy instead of real dinos. I did not know that there was anything beyond real dinos in that game, actually. Okay, I need to check Noctis, actually. Hold on. Noctis. Heir Apparent MTG. Attack trigger. And show me Gatherer as well. It will return during the owner's next declare attacker step after that player's finished declaring attackers. It will return after declaring attackers. Okay. So he's not declared as an attacker. Okay, so when attacks abilities don't actually work. But Genji Glove is fun. Edit category doesn't work. They're inspired by dinos, not actual dinos. Giganotosaurus. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Arc. Versus real Giganotosaurus. Oh. Oh. I see. Slightly different. One is the size of the other's kneecap. Alright. So doesn't work with Noct. Because Noct does not declare attacks. Okay. Phenomenal. Put onto Noct. Phenomenal. I'm gonna do Phenomenal as anything that really cares about dealing damage, I guess. Except for World Slayer, because World Slayer is a terrible idea. So... yeah, put on the Noct category doesn't need to exist yet. Phenomenal. Draw that many cards. Easy. Great. Mid? Mid is going to be an effect that doesn't really do anything solid. Like, this just buffs up the board. Like, it's okay. Alright, I guess. Better in the school cafeteria. Evasion. I'm gonna say this one's mid because while you're drawing an amount of cards, you have to discard that same amount of cards. Take it easy. I'll talk with you later on. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Let's just make a new category. Just pumps. Because that's what Nettle Cyst and Mace of the Valiant do, let's be honest. I'll put Loxodon Warhammer in mid. I've been wanting lifelink in games more and more. Phenomenal, just because I like it. Can't be blocked. I'll put that under evasion. Cryptic Code's weird because typically without Noctis, you can't equip it again after you play it, but this Noctis subverts that. I'll put... No, I won't put Caduceus and Staff of Hermes. I'll put it in mid, technically. For the same reason Loxodon Warhammer does. I need to change it out of mid. I'll put it in alright. Alright, I guess. And I need to number these. 1. 2. 3. 4. I'll leave World Slayer down there because I don't need to reference that table frequently, I think. Equipped creature gets +0/+2. Whenever the creature attacks, exile 1 instant or sorcery from defending player's graveyard. Copy it, cast by paying 3. Doesn't work with Noctis. Doesn't work with Noctis. I wonder if this works with Noctis. Is this a delayed trigger? Interesting. Jury's out on whether Bilbo's Ring would trigger if I attack with a single creature and Noctis comes in. I think yes, actually, because I'm thinking of things like Adeleine that make attacking tokens. I think it works, but I'm unsure. Doesn't work with Noctis. Just pumps. Alright, I guess. I'll put weird stuff over there. Just pumps. Look at that many cards. Cast it. I forgot that you don't... It's not like mana value less than or equal to the damage dealt. I'm gonna put that on to Phenomenal. This doesn't work with Noct. Swifties are always Phenomenal. This doesn't work with Noct. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 has protection from the last chosen color. Evasion. Evasion. Whenever equipped creature attacks, does not work with Noctis. What did the backside of this do again? As it becomes attached, choose an exiled card used to craft it. Equipped creature is a copy of the last chosen card. I'm gonna put this in probably not a good idea, but it is funny. This is evasion, technically, I think. Does not work with Noctis. I really hoped that this would. The Blade of Selves doesn't work with Noctis. However, I like it for the other guys, maybe. No, I think Blade of Selves will actually be our first cut because... Well, actually, Blade of Selves is weird. Because Blade of Selves, it'll make a token attacking each player that... Like, every player. I can ninjutsu out those tokens and not be down creatures. And I think I like that quite a bit, because like there are some ninjutsu effects that subvert... Okay, all of these are bad examples. Like if I had Silver Fur Master out, I could then... Ninjutsu would cost like 1 here instead of 3 mana total. 2 here instead of 3 mana total. That's just 1 to begin with. So like I can cheat creatures into play without going down on, or even on creatures. Skull Clamp is, I'm just going to put in Phenomenal because there are these guys. And Mobilize is actually super sick. Okay, so is there like a playtest area? No, there probably is, but I don't know where it is. So let's say you have Voice of Victory. Voice of Victory says whenever this attacks, make a 1/1. Tapped and attacking. Sack him at the beginning of the next end step. Noctis says whenever a creature you control enters, not one or more, you can attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. I think this means that you could mobilize 2. You have 2 ETB triggers. Target Skull Clamp, target one of them. Target Skull Clamp, target the second one. The first trigger resolves, Skull Clamp kills that guy, you draw 2 cards. The second trigger resolves, Skull Clamp attaches, it dies, and you draw 2 more cards. So Voice of Victory turns into your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. When this creature attacks, draw 4. And that seems really good. I'll put this in Phenomenal. Dragonfire Blade. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has hexproof from mono-colored. Equipped 4, this ability costs 1 less to activate for each of the color of the creature it targets. Evasion. And then Basilisk color is alright, I guess. I'm gonna... I'm actually going to put this in the evasion. Even if it doesn't work for the attack trigger, I want it for the hexproof and unblockable ability. Okay. We can now cut a few things. Transmogrant's Crown is weird because like it's the same effect as Skull Clamp, but it just doesn't give the -1 toughness. Oh, it also doesn't draw you 2 cards. It draws you a card. We can go down on that. Buster Sword. Just having Noxious wield Buster Sword seems funny. I'm hesitant to cut that one. Pre-war formal wear. Let me sort. These are sorted by mana value. How many creatures can I bring back? 16, so almost a fifth of my deck could get returned via... There's probably a better equipment that can bring back creatures. Graveyard. Creature. Alright, well... Maybe I could have been better. This has Mayhem? What is this? Rocket-powered Goblin Glider. I didn't know this actually existed. You can cast it for free with Green Goblin. That's really flavorful. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, pay 4, return that card to the battlefield and attach this to it. Do I have Sword of Light and Shadow? Let's drop this one and go up Sword of Light and Shadow. It's still an alright, I guess, but that's fine. Yeah, Mask of the Schemer, I think, can just go. A double white pip on equip ability is rough, but not terrible. Alright, hold on. Maul can go. Coat can stay, Bilbo can stay. I think I like Sanctuary Blade in the same sense that I like Dragonflyer Blade. But maybe one of them can go. This is an equip for 1 on Knocked. This is always equip 3. And gets weird if I have... Like, if I want to say protection from blue, I can't equip my Robe of the Archmagi or Key to the Vaults. Robe of Stars is phenomenal. That's going to be staying. We have too many just pump effects, I think. Each artifact and enchantment you control. This can get absurd, I think, especially if we do go more into the mobilize, create attacking tokens route. Base power 7/7. Each aura and equipment attached to it has ward 2. I think Power Suit is better than Nettlesist then. I know Nettlesist makes a body, but like I'm not worried about that, I think. Okay. Where's our stats? Artifacts. We still have 39 artifacts. We still have so many artifacts. Okay. I really want fishing gear to pop off. I really want this to do good things. You get to put a permanent into play for free from an opponent's library? That's insane. I'm actually wondering if I could run, like, players play with the top card of their library revealed effects, but that does not seem good, actually. So let's make this bracket 3. Yes. Oh, Route 2 Pokemon. Or 1, maybe? I think it's 2. What happens with attacked abilities? Meandering Tower Shell? What is that? Hold on. Meandering Tower Shell. Whenever this attacks, exile it. Return it to the battlefield under your control tapped and attacking at the beginning of the declare attacker step on your next turn. What? Okay. Secret layer drop. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, look at him. Behold, the dog. Okay, I didn't miss anything over there. Oh, this is gonna cause so many problems for people who think that attack triggers work. So if you didn't have the ability at the beginning, you would have to target chosen before Noctis's own ability resolves. Abilities that care about if you attacked care about if you declared more than one creature as an attacker. So Noctis will not count, which means Bilbo's Ring should draw me a card and lose life. It also means Jin Sakai actually makes creatures unblockable, which is huge. Done before any abilities that start at the trigger of the declarative attacker step are put onto a deck. Warp Strike as a whole has two parts. The first part is an activated ability, delayed trigger. Okay, hold on. There is one problem with this deck. The one problem with this deck is I think that if you have, let's just say, Spider Sense, if someone has a Spider Sense card, counter target instant spell, sorcery spell, or triggered ability, and your Noctis in exile, I think your commander's just gone for the rest of the game. Noctis, Heir Apparent, and Stifle. Yeah, because it won't change zones, I think that it, Commander Theft? Oh. Hot. That makes sense. I'm not gonna look at this. I don't need your help. We got this. We got this. I think my just pumps are fine. The ability to equip the Ether Spark without using its mana or loyalty ability is huge, I think. Because that means that, like, let's say I play turn 2 Voice of Victory, turn 3 Noctis, turn 4 Ether Spark, attack with everything. I can then equip Ether Spark onto Noctis and bring it up to 6. Which means I can -5 immediately to draw 2 cards. I like that quite a bit. Okay. I don't think we're cutting anything from our phenomenal pile. I think we need ways to forge anew, equip things for free, or at instant speed. I think Cryptic Coat probably should be cut, but it's just, I want the ability to play this card, and it not having an equip ability, just having a bounce ability, has always put a damper on it. So being able to put it in Noctis, I think I really want to do it. I still think one of these, between Sanctuary Blade and Dragonfire Blade, go. Oi, how's it going, Grish? I'm working on, I think, well, I want to play Arena, but I want to do this more. I'm building 4 decks today. We've got Noctis, Cypher, Squall, and then Adia, because I may or may not have bought 2 Scene boxes yesterday. All of these are super interesting, though. How's it going? But we're working on Noctis right now. And I really want to use World Slayer. Probably not a good idea. I think this one can go. But, like, the craftability is way too expensive. It's gotta go, I think. Spidey Sense. So, okay. Speaking of MTG, you finally legalized your Xander deck? What do you mean? Oh, let's cut a bunch of that does not work with Noctis, actually. That is where things happen. Not Blade of Selves. Conformer Shuriken can go. Inquisitorial Rosette. Attacking creatures gain menace until EOT. Just makes a body, and you subvert the equip 4. This ramps. Andorel can go. Oh, you swapped out your Dockside, Jeweled Lotus, and Mana Crypt. Okay. What were your swaps? I think I like Blue Mage's Cane still, so I think we're... Genji Glove can go. We'll pull Genji Glove. That's fine. Alright, let's switch these by types now. We now have a measly 31 artifacts. I think that's better. I really think we should probably get it to like 25 or 7 maybe. But I really don't want to stop. Slickshot, Barbed Sextant, and Inspiring Statuary. Statuary is interesting. I guess I didn't think about how many... Because that's non-artifacts you have Improvise, right? Okay, let's... Now that we have these, let's start filtering by, like, what the effects actually do. So, like, this would be Recursion. I really don't want to cut this, but maybe. Lifelink. No, we're not gonna do that. Card draw. I'm gonna put this into the just pumps category because the +3 is really like, we're putting this onto Noctis and it's 5/3. I'm gonna put this into card draw because the 10 mana probably won't happen as much as I want it to. Body Makers. I don't know the other way to put that. Ramp. Sword of Faff isn't ramp, but I'm putting it in there for now. Card draw. I'll put this into Body Makers. It's not actually that, but like... Is Key to the Vault... Okay, look at that many cards from the top of your library. Is this card draw? You get one for free and cast it. We need to rename this category. Advantage. Evasion. Card draw. I don't have a category for this. I'll put it over here. Our evasion category is spicy. Which is really funny because our commander has it can't be blocked on its text. Okay. What now? Oh, we have this too. Body makers. Body makers. Ramp? Where was ramp? Down here. You go into this category too, because I don't know where else to put you. Ramp. I'm gonna put this in body makers, because technically this is going into the line of... Usually people won't block copies. Like, in every sense, if there's, like, a Silent Blade Oni, obviously they're going to block that. But if there's, like, not a reality chip, but, like, a silver... Hold up a second. Master Splinter with a Blade of Selves, reduce your ninjutsu abilities by 3? This becomes a 3-drop ninjutsu? Anyway, people don't usually block, what's a good example? This one, sure. If this had Blade of Selves on it, people wouldn't block the copy tokens, because it's just 2 damage. It doesn't have any triggers that care about, like, dealing damage. So then I could ninjutsu in something meaningful, like Ingenious Infiltrator, or the like. I have 1 recursion card. Kaito gets to go into card advantage. Probably not a good idea. Will stay in probably not a good idea. That's what I'm saying. You aren't supposed to see this, Jason. Look away. No, how's it going? So there are 2 really cool things with Noctis. Let me read Noctis again to you, because I noticed a thing. Yeah, there's the exile it, return it, but the first ability, whenever a creature you control enters during combat, you may attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. It doesn't automatically equip to whatever enters. So you can create attacking tokens. You can have 2 tokens enter and slap on Buster Sword and Skull Clamp to a single creature. So... Also, I forgot that Wand of Orcus was expensive as it is. I know I bought this pre-con. I think I bought this pre-con. But I don't remember if I kept this card. I think I had it, and I'm like, why would I want to make zombie tokens? I might have been foolish. Alright, let's look at our ramp. We have 4 pieces of ramp. One of them isn't really ramp, but the other 3 all get lands into play. What's the Metalcraft? Hold on. Etched Champion. Shout out to Henry. So many swords, but not Blackblade? Considered it. However, it is just a pump effect. So, like, oftentimes, Thran Power Suit will be better than Blackblade Reforged because of the amount of artifacts I have versus the amount of lands I have. Mace of the Valiant will get out of hand, especially I intend to buff up this deck with more token generation. I like the song. Loxodon, I just don't have a place for this hammer. I could consider swapping... I don't know. Like, I'm already running World Slayer. This is my answer. This is, who needs Blackblade when you have a World Slayer? Is this a May? Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, I might have had to remove World Slayer. Noctis's ability is a May ability. So I can move to combat. Noctis enters after I declare attackers. I equip World Slayer to Noctis. I attack. I connect with Noctis. World Slayer trigger happens. I hold priority and activate Noctis to exile it. All other permanents get destroyed. Yeah? Yeah. It's a terrible idea. It's in the probably not a good idea category because it should be in that category. I don't think I have a Mopal, and I think I want a Mopal eventually, but the fact that it was unbanned and spiked and, like, doubled in price makes me sad. But I will add it just because we're theory crafting here. Yeah, it's still 170, that's crazy. Be reprinted already. Go to, like, maybe 100, please. Then I can at least reasonably trade for it at a loss. Whenever it attacks, if you control 3 or more artifacts, creatures your opponents control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn. I love that flavor text. Who will stop me? You? Interesting. I didn't realize this card existed. Is that that's really a card? Hold on. How much is this card? $17. Okay, yeah, sure. Its low was 13 in the last year. Add colorless for each Urza's land you control, only if you control 3 or more artifacts. Yikes. Hold on, let me just, Okay, that does not give every land type. Humiliator, I'm considering. I didn't know this card existed. That's spicy. But Pure Steel Paladin and Humiliator. Vidalcan Humiliator. What? Oh, you're in here. Actually, yeah, let me look at these and figure out. New category. Disruption. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure and manifest the top card of that player's library. This is the kind of card that would get Path to Exile just because people hate getting stolen from. Recursion, technically? Search for a ninja, that is advantage. I'm gonna say this is disruption. Disruption. I don't have a place for Sakashima student. Evasion? This goes into evasion. Whenever a ninja deals combat damage, draw a card. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at that player's hand. This isn't great, but like, we're probably cutting this ninja. I like the idea of the information, but I think I'd much rather just like play a creature that's meaningful to the board state. Umezawa's card advantage. Prosperous Thief is ramp. Nightblade Brigade. Mobilize. Bodymakers. Return target creature that player controls to their hand. Make a copy. This is a Bodymaker. What deck am I making right now? I am making Noctis Heir Apparent. Let's open this in a new tab. Whenever a creature I control enters during combat, attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. And Noctis also has a pay 3. You blink this, return it to your battlefield tapped and attacking after you declare attackers, and it can't be blocked. So it's combat shenanigans, but also equipment. So you've got your things like, where are the solid things that I was thinking of? Just equipment. Wrecking Ball Arm. You can attach Wrecking Ball Arm to any creature when Noctis enters, so you can like make your 3/4 into a 7/7. Noctis notably doesn't attach the equipment to whatever entered during combat. So I'm kind of messing around with shenanigans like that. The double strike. He's just a solid body. How's it going though? Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, you may put an artifact with mana value less than or equal to that damage from your hand onto the battlefield. I didn't mean to put you there. Where would this go? Am I working with any budget? Not presently. I was considering proxying some of these decks and testing them. And then anything I didn't like, or if I wanted to turn it into a real paper deck, I would then see what I have, see how much the difference would be, and after that, make choices. But this is one of 4 decks that I am newly contemplating building, because I got the scene boxes for Final Fantasy 15 and then 8 as well. So we've got goad attack trigger shenanigans, specific power hitting people shenanigans, and hey, I would like to take your creature, but I can't kill it. And so all of these are so different from each other, and I'm like, all right, I'll look at it, I'll try it. This is a body maker. This is a body maker. Adeline definitely is probably our best creature creator, because that's for each opponent make a 1/1, so that's 3 Noctis triggers. This is disruption. This is card advantage. Yeah. Silverfur Master's weird in that, like, I always kind of put it in the ramp category, but I don't think I should. What are you fine tuning? This is evasion. This is, if it is attacking, create a token with a copy of another attacking creature. Enters tapped and attacking. Okay. But like if I was working on a budget and like didn't have, for example, a Sakashima student, easy cut. Actually, the ninjutsu for 2 is crazy, I'm realizing. You can clone something for 2, and it connects that turn. This card is cracked. Okay. What are we at? We're at 61 cards without lands, without ramp. We kind of have ramp. Arcane Sig. No reason not to use Soul Ring. John Benton, that was the guy that cares about you and someone else drawing a card, I think, right? Yes, yep, okay. I have played against this card. It gets out of control very quickly. Whenever Sergeant John Benton deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards. Cutting all the win more cards to make it consistent. I think that's the thing that I struggle with, is like, yes, I enjoy winning more, so why wouldn't I want to win more? Uh... I did not realize that this was an Undertale song? Yeah. I did not expect Bone Trousel. Game Drops Radio is so good. Okay. I think we can cut Basilisk Collar. I think it is just outside of the scope of what this deck wants to do. Shadow Spear I do want, especially if I'm going to stick to my guns and run World Slayer. Because the last thing I want to happen is connect with World Slayer, activate Noctis, bounce it. Somebody says, alright, Heroic Intervention? Nah, we need Shadow Spear for that. Defending player's graveyard. So the tricky thing I found with Noctis, by the way, since you're coming in after I'd talked about it, Liam and everybody else, Noctis, since he enters after you declare attackers, even though it says enters tapped and attacking at the beginning of the declare attacker step, it's after you've declared all of your attackers already. So it gets around stuff like Moat or Ghostly Prison, but you also miss out on any attack triggers with Noctis. So, like, you can't equip Blue Mage's Cane to him when he enters and get the attack trigger. So I had some easy trims there, but I kept some of the fun cards that I haven't messed around with yet. You cut your deck into 4 main categories and cut all the cards that didn't fit properly into there, though you also have some fun personal cards. I do enjoy... One thing I really like the bracket system for is that it has made my deck building much better, like much clearer. Like I built, like bracket 3 decks are so much easier to me now because like, yeah, now I meaningfully have a reason to not cram game changers into it, and it typically will be bracket 3. Look at that smile. Alright, what's going on here now? We're at 62 cards. Did I add something? I might have. I need to turn this down a touch. My brain cannot focus. What are your 4 main categories that you split things up into? Still need to cut so many cards. Alright, group by type again. We're still at 33. We've got to make some cuts still. What is our categories? What is our ramp at? 7? Oh, I did have Soul Ring and Signet. Okay, ramp 8, 9. We're probably set on ramp, actually. Our card advantage is definitely there. I did not expect the amount of body makers that we had, actually. So... what? If I were to do board wipes, what board wipes would I want? What is this? Mice on Venus. Curly. I think I'll cut Caduceus. I think the double white pips are enough justification for me to cut Caduceus. Spider Sense I can put into Disruption or Protection. I'll just leave it there for now. Alright, let's go back into type so that I can see what we're working with. 1 enchantment, 1 instant, 1 planeswalker, 32 artifacts. Let's cut Sword of Faf. The ninjutsu is so good though. No, I don't think we can cut this. Because not only can we do ninjutsu things and have our lands untap, we can also deal combat damage, untap our lands, activate ninjutsu before we leave combat, or also keep up 3 mana to activate Noctis again. Mana ramp to get your commander out on turn 2. Protection to keep your commander on the field. Pump effects, and removal cards, which do other stuff. Okay. I have mine... I guess with John, you don't have to worry as much about card draw, I guess, with Sergeant John. But I think the categories I typically rock are ramp, card advantage. So, like, draw cards, put cards into hand from library, etc., etc. Single target removal, and board wipes I keep separate just so I can track, like, maybe I don't need 5 board wipes in my deck. Maybe 3 will be fine. Ramp, card advantage, single target removal, board wipes, protection. And then sometimes, inevitably, there's just this category where it's like, I don't have a place for you, you kind of just stay here. You're my wildcard slot. Case in point, this random ninjutsu double striker. It doesn't really do much, but it does something I want it to. Let's actually take a minute and look at the mana value. Actually, the curve is kind of nice. We can cut some 3s, I think. What 3s would we cut? I'm trying to think of lower cost ramp for 3. And, like, the Dimir Signets and, like, come to mind. Also nice to have those types of cards which also work with the commander, like a Equipment Ninja board wipe, if that exists. The closest that could, and ironically it probably would get rid of my commander, Scryfall. Parentheses, choose a creature type. Destroy. Kindred Dominance. Choose a creature type. Destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. So I probably would choose Ninja, wherever my ninjas are. Vidalcan Ninja, etc., etc. That's a noble. He's getting popped. But also, like, I could activate Noctis, exile him, cast the board wipe. He'll come back. What is this? Hold on. Sabo's Decree? Hold on. Let me see the Gatherer ruling. Choose a creature type. Target player reveals their hand and discards all creature cards of that type, then destroy all creatures of that type that player controls. Oh. Okay. This is such a screw you card that doesn't actually, like, this helps specifically when you're in that board state where one player is clearly the problem. And I kind of love that. I'm not going to play this, but I love this card. Hey, discard all of your elves, and also destroy all of your elves. What the heck? How's it going, Anime Outcast? I have just discovered this card. Tribal Lover and use Terrified? Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at because I was looking up Kindred Dominance. Do I need much ramp in this deck, or is the curve not that high? The issue is that I'm using a lot of my mana. Because, like, let's go back to type. Actually, let's go to status. Where's this? Subtypes. I'm rocking 16 ninjas. Sorry, stream, new to Magic. Welcome to the game. It is complex, and I completely understand that. Fight the good fight. The thing with ninjutsu is that I am using a lot of my mana and not going positive on creatures. So, like, I am bouncing a creature for 3 mana, and then I can cast that creature after combat for, like, another 3 mana. That's actually why I wanted to keep in the Sword of Feast and Famine, because it untaps my lands. And so it effectively doubles my land count every time I can hit with it. What have you been playing, Anime? And like Commander, Standard, just random 60 card stuff? Avatar: The Last Earthbender dragged you in hard? Want to do an Earthbending deck since you got 3 of the Cubs? Okay, so you're thinking more than 60 card, like Standard. Okay. So you do want to do Commander, okay. To be fair, Badgermole Cub works good in any deck that can run green and wants to tap for more mana. So that is fair. I am right now building Noctis, Heir Apparent. I'll give you the quick rundown. He's a 2/3. He cares about creatures entering during combat. You get to, when a creature enters, attach an equipment you control to another creature you control. Yeah, 2 $50 cards can absolutely fund your deck. Or you can try to trade a $50 card for another $50 card. I don't know if you would want to do that, but Toph is very good. This card is crazy. Whenever a land enters you get an experience counter, and then you get to Earthbend whenever you attack, where X is your experience counters. This is like one of the cards from the Jumpstart that I didn't get, and I'm like, man. What is this one? That actually wouldn't be bad for a commander, for earthbending things. Honestly, all of the Toffs are solid. Even Kristoff. Or Chains of Mephistoff. Are you aware of the various search engines and commander databases to, like, find cards for your deck? Cheap equipment with high equip costs will also be fun because they get equipped for free. Yeah, that was my first thought process. I can't sort by subtype, right? Okay. So, like, a great example is Wrecking Ball Arm. It's fairly cheap for legendary creatures, but you have an equip 7 for non-legends. You can just ignore that. It's fine. So your random 1/1 that you made with Voice of Victory instead is now a 7/7 and can't be blocked by 2 or less power. The one I am the most excited for, where did you go? Is Cryptic Coat, actually. Speaking of equip cost, because Cryptic Coat does not have an equip cost. You cannot equip this onto a creature once it's on the battlefield, normally. You have to bounce it and then recast it, so it's 5 mana afterwards, and you don't even get to choose what to put it on. But instead, with Noctis, you can just put it onto something. Started about a month ago with a couple precons. Your friends didn't want any more, so they sold them to you for much below market. What decks do you have, and what's been your favorite to tinker with, then? It's always really nice when, like, people can hook you up with something on the cheap. Alright, we're at 25 creatures. 25 creatures is kind of a lot of creatures, too, isn't it? I guess with ninjutsu, it's not, like, a lot. Moxfield and EDH Rec, you use them to build your Firelord Azula. Favorite villain? Firelord Azula is really, really cool. I think maybe when we get this into a meaningful piece, if I can do this in the next 40 minutes, I might play Azula on Arena then. You might have convinced me. You know, Moxfield and EDH Rec. Scryfall is incredible. So Scryfall is a card search engine. So like you can type in like your Swords to Plow, or you like you type the name of a card and it shows up. That's the card I was looking for, Swords to Plowshares. But it also has a syntax. So it has various ways to search up specific things. So for example, you can search up for a rules, like a thing that is in part of the rules, Earthbend. And it pulls up any card with Earthbend. So that you don't have to scroll through EDH Rec and see what is there or might not be there. Azula, Frodo, Sam, Eowyn, and the Grave Danger with the commander swap to Wilhelt. What was the Grave Danger precon? MTG... Grave Danger precon. Okay, yep. Mill 4 cards, you can cast a zombie. Wilhelt the Rockcleave was crazy from what I remember. I don't need to see precon, I just need to see the commander. Yeah, whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, make Decayed zombie. You may sack a zombie if you do draw a card. That's nice and spicy. Oh, I didn't realize they included him in the secret layer drop. No, absolutely. Anytime someone is trying to learn and play the game, I'm very excited because this game is incredible. There's so many weird rules and interactions and stuff. Speaking of rules and interactions, Gatherer. So let's use Wilhelt the Rockcleave. Gatherer is Wizards' like official database for their cards. They have any relevant... Alright, well, this guy doesn't have any rules. They have relevant rulings for various cards. So let's look up Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow, for example. Here is the card. Here is what the card says presently. And then here are all of the applicable rules that have been ruled for it. So like Commander Ninjutsu means do this. Commander Ninjutsu is a variant of it, etc., etc. Let's look up Toph and go back to Toph again real quick. This one has no ruling. Awesome. Okay, maybe let's go to Firelord Azula? Do you have any rules? Oh, you absolutely do. Azula's ability and the copy it creates both resolve before the spell costing its ability to trigger. Not Yurio. Oh god, when my friends pull her out, it's a hellhole. Yuriko is, terrifying. Yuriko is one of those commanders where it's like, alright, this is not going to be at, like, any game we've played today. You can't choose to pay additional costs for a copied spell, however, effects based on additional costs that were paid are copied as well. So, like, it oftentimes, Gatherer will resolve any questions that you have, unless they're incredibly niche and very obscure. I love this art so much on Azula. This one's cool. I think I like it more than this one, but this one's also hot. Very hot, in pun intended. Fire, you know. But yeah, Scryfall and Gatherer are my two recommendations to keep in mind if you had not known about them prior. Anytime he pulls her out, he tells us it's bad, and asks we're okay with it at least. That's good. I think I do want to run Kindred Dominance. Yeah. You bought the third art and have it ready to meet the voice of Azula? That's super cool. So you're gonna get it signed then? That is something that I am intending to do with the, hold on. Those are empty. Hold on. There you are. It's all terrible. Ah. So, before Final Fantasy happened, I had just played through, and finished 16, and it was phenomenal, and I loved every minute of it. And so I have the full cast of Dominance that I eventually want to get sleeved by, not sleeved. I want them all to be signed by their voice actors in-game. So, like, I have the Benedicta, the Barnabas Tharm, Dion, which was, in my opinion, one of the best dominants in the game. Dion was super great. So, eventually, that is my bucket list, but I am far, far away from being able to do that and complete that. But let's go back to... Where did the screen go? There we go. Kindred Dom might be a bit too expensive, feels a bit win more since you need a good board for it to be most effective. Well, I would agree. I see where you are coming from. I don't think I need... You might be onto something. You might be on... We'll keep it in mind just because it can... At best, it removes all except for my creatures. At medium, I can choose, like, Noble with Noctis. And not many people would have Nobles unless they're running Changeling. And get rid of all except for my commander. And then at worst, I choose, like, Gamer and destroy all creatures in play. In which case, a 7-mana pop everything doesn't seem bad. Debating running Bellow of the Brambles. Bellow is a card that exists. Oh boy. If an artifact isn't Earthbent, can't he still let it swing? During your turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4. With indestructible, haste, and card draw. What an absurd card. Gatherer.wizards. Bellow. As long as you're doing the 4 cost or more, Oh, you're building the other Toph then, aren't you? You're building, the metal bending one, right? Toph. You're building, this one, aren't ya? This one's really fun. I did build it. I made the mistake. I put Blood Moon into this deck, and that is a really bad decision. Don't be like me, and don't put Blood Moon in your deck. You're gonna have every single Toph in it? Nice. Yeah, that would work great. Especially because this also... Hold on. Each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is an elemental. So this actually works even better with Toph. Let's go to Blood Moon. MTG. So this is Blood Moon. You are familiar with it. It's in your cart. This art is the coolest. Non-basic lands are mountains. So, non-basic lands will lose any other land types and abilities they had. They will gain the land type mountain and gain the ability tap, add red. This means that if you had, for example, a Soul Ring, it doesn't tap for 2 anymore. It just taps for a single red. Or an Arcane Signet would just tap for a single red. You couldn't tap it for green or for white. It turns off your board and does not really enable much, since you just have red. Since all of your artifacts are non-basic lands, because they don't have the land type basic, they lose all of their abilities. I slammed it down on turn 3 when I was playtesting Toph. I'm like, this is great. This is not great. Yep, so anything that gets modified would be changed. However, something like Yavimaya would be good. I should have specified. Cradle of Growth. Each land is a forest in addition to its other land types. This means that they retain their abilities. Nothing else changes about those lands, including their names, other subtypes, whether they're legendary, basic, or snow. So Yavimaya, great. Blood Moon, not so much. So... don't be like me. Don't put Blood Moon or Zhao into your Toph deck. Where are we at with this deck? Does that include lands in the deck? Yes. So if you had... Let's just go back over here and say... Stomping Ground. Nope, let's say, Temple Garden. So, with Temple Garden, it's a land, forest, plains. It's non-basic. With Blood Moon, this would just become a mountain. With, White-Red, Sacred Foundry. With Sacred Foundry, this is a mountain plains. With Yavimaya in play, it's also a forest. This taps for 1 of any of your colors. It can tap for red, or white, or green with Toph. Specifically if you have this out. Or only on the field. Yavimaya land cards not on the battlefield aren't your forests. So it doesn't apply to cards in hand, or in your library. The other thing is that each land is a forest in addition to its other land types. Again, it doesn't change them into basics. You can't, like, search your library for a basic land card and get whatever you wanted to. There are weird effects. Again, this is Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering has an exception for nearly every rule. Root Path Purifier. I don't know if I would recommend this card, but every single time I think about adding it to the deck, it's very tempting. Lands you control and land cards in your library are basic. So being basic doesn't grant any abilities to the stuff it already had, but you can cultivate for any land you want in your entire deck. So... Actually, I wonder, like... Again, this only does this, so it feels like a good card, but it also doesn't do anything by itself. But it does specify here that it does make your lands no longer affected by Blood Moon. Which is very funny. If you enjoy shenanigans, if you're anything like me, Toph the First Metal Vendor does not say any another target. So, for example, Liquid Metal Coating is a 2-drop that just has a single tap ability. Target permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types. You can turn Toph into an artifact with various effects like this. Toph becomes a land, and then on your end step, you can Earthbend Toph. She does become a 2/2 instead of a 3/3, but then if she gets destroyed or exiled, you can bring her back for free. So that's something that I enjoyed doing. I didn't get to do it super often because I didn't often draw these cards during my playtesting, but I do like that. Yavimaya might be a bit expensive, yes. Yavimaya is expensive depending on your budget. Yavimaya is just an Yavamaya's... That typically bounces between 10 to 20, I think, right? Cradle of Growth. I forgot it was reprinted in the Commander deck. So yeah, it typically bounces between 5 and 10? And it's high right now? So yeah, I wouldn't... There are other lands that are better for your mana base than this. I wouldn't necessarily worry about it. It can do things like give your artifacts abilities, so it's worth knowing things like this do exist. It's not anything like Urborg, though. Urborg is still expensive, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the exact same thing as Yavimaya, except it turns your all lands in play into swamps instead. And I guess people value that more than forests. Let's just put in Wrath of God. And I don't know, I'm too lazy. We're gonna put in Farewell. It'll be changed eventually, maybe sorta. Okay. Yeah, that surprised me. I was like, that is $40. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile. get lost because I just have standard on the brain. What's the... what is it? There's the card that destroys a creature or planeswalker. They investigate. Your Azula had horrific land balance until you got help. Let's see. You had... which was the deck? Most deck building things. Like, I'm on Architect right now. I think you mentioned Moxfield. All of them, I think, have a stat thing. And it shows you what colored pips you have in your deck versus what you have that can make that color. And so, like, 30% of my deck costs white, 41% of my deck costs blue, 29% costs black, and then you can kind of, like, add your tap, is land, CI, Esper. Alright, let's do type land, CI Esper. So, like, then you could add your, your white and blue sources, your tap for all of your colors, etc., etc. What was the card I liked recently from... set AoE Bridge. Command Bridge. I like this card a lot. This land enters tapped. When this land enters, sacrifice it unless you tap an untapped permanent you control. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. So, this is a newer card. It's 13 cents. It is similar to other cards that exist. Sacrifice it unless you tap. And, oh, it's not unless you tap, it's unless you pay. It's also not less. So Command Bridge is similar to other cards like Gateway Plaza, except these all specify sacrifice it unless you pay a mana. This simply has you tap a permanent. So, like, if you had a random creature or, like, a random enchantment in play, you could tap that to pay for it. Secret Tunnel and Earthbending Arena seem obvious to you for Toph? Absolutely. For my Sergeant Benton deck, you want to keep it cheap. You're not really including cards that cost 3 or more euros, even when the budget's quite strong. Or even with the budget, it is quite strong. Yeah, you can build a very powerful deck for very cheap. Great example. I have a deck, and I've also themed my Magic Arena decks challenges on this. My decks. Where did you go? I have a deck challenge where I play Arena, and I build a commander and start with 99 commons. This card has shot up in price. Oh my goodness. Let's just exclude the price then. How do I do? Where did I do that again? Up here. Nope. Okay. Well, this card, this deck was, it's all commons. So the deck costs $48, and 32 of that is my commander. And it can just kill people out of nowhere, because if a red source would deal damage less than this creature's power, it deals damage equal to its power instead, to an opponent. So, like, you just do a bunch of effects that, like, buff up your creatures. Where's a good example? Where's some spicy? A target creature gets +3/+1 till end of turn for 2 mana. You do not need to build an expensive deck to build a strong deck. And I will always tell that to anybody who will listen. But it's fun also just, like, theorizing and just throwing whatever you can. There's a time and a place for doing both. So, like, if I'm tinkering with and just trying to make something that is fun and would work, and I'm going to print it out and put it on paper, sure, I'll do this for now. But then if I'm like, let's work with $200 or work with $50, I probably wouldn't be building ninjas, is where I'm at right now. Because, like, that's a $5 ninja. That's a $7 ninja. I guess it's a rogue. Oh, what is a ninja rogue? That's a $10 ninja. Right, not a $5 deck. It's a small, under $5 per card deck, yeah. I get what you're saying. I did not realize this card... What made this card jump? Oh, Rational. Nope, not this. Where's this? When did this spike? It was $7 in June. In October, it was $20. Was this Edge of Eternities? Why is Irrational so expensive? I'm not going to dox myself. Thank you, AI Overview. Ohra Ashnal became expensive due to its immense power. Very cool. Maybe people just realize that it is a solid card. There's definitely a reason, but I'm not going to dig into it too much. She's not traditional in Toph, but you're debating adding Karlach, Fury of Avernus. You love Baldur's Gate 3, but trying her deck from a friend felt unfun to see people deal with. Scryfall. Very cool AI, thank you. I'm a fake fan. Whenever you attack, if it's the first combat phase of this turn, untap all creatures. They gain first strike. After this phase, there's another one. It's not like... I don't think it's that strong. I do think that Karlach in the command zone is definitely different from Karlach in the 99. But, like... Not Morage. Morag exists. Which, in your main phase 2, if you play a land, there's another combat. And each creature you control gets +1/+0 for every time it attacked. So, like, do it. I think it's fun. The build they had, you had Raised by Giant with her in the command zone? Oh, hold on. She definitely had Choose Your Background, didn't she? Yep. I completely missed that. I was like, even in mono red, this seems fine. Ah. Giving your commander base power 10/10. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you throw on, like, Double Strike or Trample, and it gets out of hand. It ends games. I see what you're saying. I might shelf this. I might tinker with this a little bit later, but I do want to play Azula now. And I might put it in my mind. We're going to boot up Arena. I like the shell. It's by no means complete. But ADHD merits hey, we're playing Arena now. Yippee. Booting it up, waiting for server. It was really thinking hard. Move you over here. And where's MTGA? Alright, so we're not going to be dropping Iroh. So let me see. I think I might have a backdrop that's actually better for this. Why is this not working? It's fine. It's fine. We are troubleshooting at its finest. There we go. Easy. Everything's fixed. Reroll. Not a 750. Terrible. You play with Magic to have fun with friends, more so than win? As it should be. You're just there to have a good time, and sometimes, depending on the play group, playing Magic to have fun is having really, really good interactions and good back and forth. Other times it's just, hey, I'm gonna hit you with a 20/20. It doesn't have trample or anything, you can block it. Okay, cool. Find match. I see the merit in all of it. We're gonna rock Azula. We're gonna play Azula. You like to make really consistent decks so you don't end up doing anything. Yeah, not having, like... Is it worse to only draw lands? Here's a question. Is it worse to only draw lands, or to not draw lands and be able to do nothing? Hey, bye. This doesn't do anything, but it also has lands and spells, so I'm gonna keep it. Alright, maybe we'll tutor for a different Surveil land. Because that's enough slices. With only lands, you can at least cast your commander. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. Surveil land. I want the red one. That can definitely go to the bin. That's enough slices, please. That's enough slices, please. Sure, that actually is very meaningful in this matchup. I have like a 15% win rate against Heya, because shrines are just so strong. Yeah, sure. I'll allow it. That's a hell of a shrine. Can I afford to let that shrine live? Most shrines are... Most shrines are beginning of your turn effects, so I think we can let it live. I think we're fine, right? I guess the Avatar shrines specifically are ETBs. Summon Fen... Yeah, see, that's fine. That's more than okay. Do I summon Fenrir myself? Yeah, you got it. Interesting. Let's... They might be holding up protection, actually, with 2 mana. I'll hurt myself quite a lot for this. This is fine. That just resolved. I'm very confused. Blue source. Pass the turn. You feel that I'm not wanting... I do think having all of the cool stuff in your hand and not being able to do anything with it... Oh, that's bad. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we see a Heya flicker here. I think I just need a board wipe. You got it. Okay, that's not the worst. I've definitely been hurting myself a lot, though. I have another Surveil land, right? Yeah. That's enough slices, please. This is... Do I have enough lands yet? Oh, I just realized that they don't get to draw their card. No? This is... How much does their commander cost? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They haven't played a land. This is gonna have to happen. Okay. I should have blown it up in response. Whoops. That's on me. That's why you streamline your gameplay and cut more win stuff, which makes you do nothing. My favorite thing to do with Azula, actually, is not time warp, but instead frantic search with Narset's Reversal. Is this 1v1 commander? Yes. So Magic Arena has a format called Brawl. It is... You have a commander, it's essentially similar to Commander, except you start with 25 life, and you, it's 1v1. I have to hit a Soul Herder here. I can't hit Go Shintai because... Oh wait, no, Perpetually. I should have hit Go Shintai, that was on me. Whoops. I just realized they have to use Utopia Sprawl for white to recast it. That's very funny. Oh no, they didn't. They blinked their commander. Chaos Warp. What was that in response to? I'm very confused. Also, I need a board wipe or something. I definitely should have Narset Reversal this onto this creature. I think I'm just dead without a board wipe, actually. Nowhere to run. Huh. Let's just get ourselves murdered quicker. Yeah. I think these both have to go. Frantic Search. Let's just get rid of Heya too while we're at it. There's merit in getting rid of multiple shrines, but I think we're good for now. Yeah, they're... Maybe I should have got rid of some of the baby shrines, considering they can do whatever they want now. Yeah, casually add 8 mana to their mana pool. But Frantic Search, draw 2, trash 2, untap 3 lands, means you get to go as deep as you want with Azula and Narset's Reversal. I guess it's not as deep as you want. You need something that taps for multiple mana. So you would need... What would you need? You would need like a Lotus Field. Maybe I should have hit High Bay. It's fine. We'll, Cyclonic Rift right off the top or something. I don't even know if that's in my deck. Yeah, you got it. Oh, we're so dead. But a very funny spell your friend suggested you on Azula for fun was Chaos Mutation. Yeah, we are so dead. Good game, good game. They just need to get rid of my blockers, and I'm very, very dead. Sure. Put back in the command zone, remove all perpetual effects. They're thinking very hard. I'm going to draw my card. Shoot the sheriff. Alright, make it a 12% win rate against this deck at now. Definitely not 15% anymore. Chaos Mutation. They're having fun. I'm going to look up Chaos Mutation while that's happening. Exile any number of target creatures controlled by different players. For each creature exiled this way, reveal until they hit a creature card. So, something to note with Azula is that when you cast a spell... man, they're going at it. When you cast a spell... you put targets onto the stack when you cast it. So, cast Chaos Mutation, let's say we target all of these things. The copy goes on the stack on top of your original spell. So, you will then copy the spell, make targets for the spell, put that copy on the stack. That happens first. You can't choose new targets, except for the original spell. Good job, hey bye. Oh, I forgot to say my cabbages. It would work for any spell that doesn't target, because then upon resolving the spell, you could, what's a good example of this? Hold on. Let's go into Brawl, because why not? Let's remove our commander, because I'm not looking for commander. Any number. Choose A. Minus target. Where's a great example of this? Here's a good one. Where's another good one? The Planeswalker's a good one, but I'll get to that in a second. Minus there. Minus you. I'm definitely going towards something here. Hold with me for just a moment. Have a good rest of your evening, Liam. Thanks for dropping by. What's the... Planeswalker. Choose. The Eternal Wanderer. So these don't target. Versus choose any number of target. Actually, Magma Opus is a perfect example for Azula. So Magma Opus, or I'm trying to think if there's any other equivalent to Chaos Mutation in any number of target. Not collected, since I don't think I saw anything in my collected pile. I'm sure that there's an X spell in red, right? Nope, that is not going to help me. I'm trying to find a spell that has like multiple targets that is on Arena. Exile until... I know I have these. Put onto battlefield. Transmogrify is a great example, actually. And Chaotic Transformation? Yeah, this is also similar. So all of these say target a creature. We'll use Chaotic Transformation specifically. Exile up to one target artifact, one target creature, one target enchantment, and one target planeswalker, and land. For each permanent exiled this way, its controller reveals cards until they reveal a card that shares a type with it. Put it into play. This is similar to Chaos Mutation, I think. When you cast Azula, or when you use this if you had Flash, so attack with Azula, she's attacking, flash this out, you have to choose targets when you cast this spell. You copy it. You have to choose targets for the copy, and the copy resolves first. So when the copy resolves, the original spell underneath of it, you still have the original targets. You can't choose a new creature that entered the battlefield this way. Versus, let's say you flashed out something like Glyph Bridge. If you cast it for each player, choose a creature. Since this says choose a creature and doesn't say target creature, this happens when the ability resolves, not when the spell is put on the stack or when it enters. I'm trying to figure out... Actually, hold on. We can just add this to the deck and I can show you discard changes. Sucks it can't be funny, but it's okay. It's still very funny, but it's not like, oh, that's a bad thing. I need to get rid of this. Exile until battlefield. Actually, I could probably make a friendly... Yeah. Okay. Direct game. Azula. I only have one of these. That'll be interesting. Chaotic. I have 3 of these though. Search library card. Can this be fun while also not throwing the game? I forgot about his stupid face. I love this card so much. Add in a couple Wishclaw Talismans, Demonic Tutor, Demonic... Nope, not Demonic Council, because that will not work. We also need Flash. Ley Line of Anticipation. I only have 1. Okay. You may cast Flash. Valley Floodcaller's super good for her. So is Hi-Fi Trickster. So, I don't know if you are rocking anything that lets you cast spells during combat, but there are spells that let you cast your non-instances during combat without, like, as though they had Flash. So, like, you could cast a sorcery or a creature during combat and it would get copied because Azula is attacking. Born Upon the Wind also would work. Search library card. And not dispossess. Because I'm just trying to test the thing. I think as many tutors as possible would work. Valley Color, Blue Spirit, and Leyline. Nice. Destroy all. Because we need to survive in our game against Sparky. Destroy... Nope, let's just do draw cards. Draw cards. Because I'm actually... I think this will work as intended, but we need to... I want to see for myself. I need to show it. Frantic Search. And... Random guy. Craft all. Use 3 commons. Multicolored lands. We need these colors. All of this for a simple test. Raucous Theater's fine. Where did... These are fine. These are fine. And then... a couple of these. A lot of these. Hold on. I just realized I added white cards to my deck. These won't work. One of you, 3 of you, and I guess one of you and one of you. Arena, there have been so many times where I've like, I don't know how this card works. Let me go into Arena and build the most jank deck with just the 2 cards that I'm trying to use. I like my little guy with the knife. So let's search for our pieces. That's a pretty good way to search for our pieces. Demonic Tutor. Search for Azula. They're playing black, which makes this a little bit scary, actually. That's fine. Now we just need to find one of our, hey, I'm looking for the transmogrify effect. Oh, I do need two red sources, I think. Maybe 3? This will get it for us? Okay. Or that will just find it. Okay, sure. Sure, game. Thank you. I guess we're good to go. Drop a Born Upon the Wind. Okay. I'm very worried they just have removal for Azula. I didn't factor that in. Well, maybe they won't. Nope, they did. Okay. I completely forgot about the fact that they can get rid of our cards. And I only have a single Azula in my deck, and they queued mono black. Thank you, robot. Very cool. Alright, so we need, like, a green or something. Show me green, Sparky. The minute they played a first swamp, I was like, oh no. Cool. Ready to play. That is something good. That's green. This is going infinitely better. Grim Tutor for Azula. Frantic Search. Didn't find a land. Am I gonna have to Wishclaw Talisman for 2 lands? No, I think I can't. Hello, Hypnoticris. Let's grab a Surveil Land. It doesn't matter our colors. And then... Oh, we have Born Upon the Wind, so we are good. I should not have played my Surveil Land first. That's awkward. I guess we'll hold on to Demonic Tutor. Yeah, that's fine. I'm testing or showcasing how this effect works with Azula. Shock it in, ow my body. Destroy all non-dragons. Thank you, Sparky. Very cool. Alright, so now we can play Azula. Set up for next turn, and I think we get to do the thing. I've been thoroughly thwarted at every turn. Trying to build your first ever deck, you've played a bit, but for someone, a commander who uses tokens, should you use all tokens or generators or just mostly? So, you're saying, like, how many token generators should you have in your deck versus other types of cards? I can't believe it. I am livid. No, you're okay. Let me just... Alright, I need to... I have been thwarted twice now by the bot. The bot has thoroughly thwarted me twice. It is typically good to have anywhere from... like 15 to 30 of your cards directly interact with whoever your commander is. It depends on the commander case by case. Let me go in and edit this deck. Return creature graveyard. Please, for the love of all that is holy. We're gonna bring in 4 of these. And you know what? We're not gonna drop any lands. We're gonna drop 1 board wipe. 1 cruel... No, we can't drop the cruel tutor. Look at his face. Brutaclad Telcor Engineer. So... let's see, you've played a bit. Do you already have your Brutaclad deck put together, and you are asking for tinkering advice, or are you building Brutaclad currently and haven't got the cards for it yet? Because if you have the deck and you feel as though it needs more interaction, or it needs more ways to draw cards, this is a bad hand. This is a better hand. We'll drop. This card. No, we'll hold. We won't need this for sure, right? For sure we won't need this. You have like 60 of your cards? Okay. I would say anywhere from 20 to 30 ways to create tokens. And then other things that, like, hey, I'm going to protect my tokens, or I'm going to, let's see, it's Brutaclad, so, like, you can get away with having less. Let me just flash this in right now, before they counter anything. You can get away with having less, token generators if you have more that stick around. So... something that is like destroy... wow, destroy. I was reading my card. Let's just start fishing. Something that says, like, hey, when this attacks, create tokens, versus a sorcery that says create tokens. I can expend that. I would want the one that sticks around and can create tokens on multiple turns sooner, or over the other one that temporarily does, unless it's a really good effect. I mean, technically Sparky can see my hand, and that's very funny. Let's just thin our deck. No, we'll cast this guy. I am so distracted right now. Okay. We're gonna need a board wipe here soon. And that makes me sad. Because I'm trying to do the thing where I showcase the thing. But it's fine. We just need to stay alive. Would a card that makes tokens when you play non-creature spells be good? Those are typically pretty good, yeah. I really am struggling here. They have an unsummon. Let's unsummon, I get, or do the... Hold on. We don't have a blue source, so we can't even do this. That's... Okay. Okay. I'm struggling so hard against bots trying to showcase one specific thing just because I have one copy of a card. Let's go to 7. Alright. Cast this. Cast this. Get back our flash speed thing. Play land for turn. Yeah, those get typically super fun. Alright, so we can do you into wait is what we're doing here. You mainly struggle with getting the right amount of cheaper and more expensive cards mana-wise? Yes. I forgot that I could flash speed things. Oh, I could have killed the nice cat hat. It is Palico from the game Monster Hunter. Alright, so let's hold priority. Activate this. Autopay. Cast this. Bargain. Sacrificing this. So now I get to look for a 4-drop and cast it. We're going to cast Azula. It is fine if Azula gets unsummoned, honestly. That is okay. This is more of a matter of principle to me now, because, like, the fact that this has happened multiple times, please don't unsummon Azula. For the love of all that is holy, please don't unsummon Azula. Okay. That's fine. But... Okay. Submit no artifacts. Submit a creature. Submit no enchantments. Submit no planeswalkers. Sure, we'll hit a land. So all of these triggers happen. The copy goes on the stack. The copy, when I copy it, I have to choose triggers for that immediately. So let's hit you. No. Undo. Hit you. And sure, we'll hit one of our lands. And the first one happens. And we're very dead. And the second one happens. But you could not change the targets during any point in that time. Firebending. Flash in you. Sure. So that's how the copy triggers work on the stack. That took way too long for that to actually happen. We go to 1. We blow up the board, I concede. We did everything we need to. That took an unreasonably long amount of time just to showcase that one thing, because I was too stubborn to A, go back out and add recursion to my deck, and 2, to have more than one copy of a card in my deck. Alright, let's get rid of you now. Alright, we can now play Brawl. There's a Planeswalker Saheeli. Sublime Artificer. Opponent goes first. They have a Katara. I'm willing to keep this hand. They're probably running Counterspell the deck, and will be countering everything that I control, but that's fine. Saheeli Sublime Artificer. Saheeli. Yeah. Do you have a negate? An ability counter? You do not. I have been given a great boon. So, Hypnoticris. Oh, that's fun. So I just need to keep up the pressure and make sure that they don't cast spells on my turn. Is what I'm hearing. And not much will be happening in the meantime. If you don't have one, Saheeli Sublime Artificer is a great token generator for your Brutaclad deck. It's like 20 cents. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, make a 1/1. Alright, so they're intending to do, like, a bunch of degenerate things all at once, or cast Katara with, like, 2 or 3 counterspells as backup. I'm gonna keep that. Let's remove a counterspell from their hand. Hold on, let me post it in the chat so that you can see the name of the card. Okay, they let me conjure the power 9 into my deck. That is certainly something. There's a Katara. That's a Rhystic Study. We like that. Alright. Destroy a creature with no counters on it. If they want to play on my turn, I'm going to play on their turn. Frantic Search. Opponent. Counter it unless I pay 3. Rhystic Study. I'll keep a land on top. We're trying to make this as difficult and annoying for them as possible. Because they want to play on my turn, and I don't want that to happen. Uh-huh. Would you like me to draw a card, opponent? They gave me a card. Okay. Uh-huh. Would you like me to draw a card? No, they would not. Okay. I'm trying to be as annoying as possible. Okay, shock it in. I could cast Azula, but I really don't want to. So. They really should be casting these surveils and stuff on my turn regardless. Alright. Alright. Now, hold on a second. Go in here. Mute myself. Post Saheeli Sublime Artificer. That's how you spell the card that you'd be looking for. Anytime I think of Brutaclad, I think of this card. It's always weird when someone plays a commander that you just have to completely change how you play your game. Like, if I had just tried to slam spells and cast Azula and stuff like that, I would have absolutely lost that game. But, since I have instants in my deck, and a lot of them, I'm like, you know what? I do want to play on your turn, opponent. You have a great idea. I do want to finish this Noctis deck. I just am walled off with where I would even go now. Sudden Disappearance? Is that the name of the card? That's not the name of the card. Okay. Well, I don't know what card that is. This playing on Arena though, you do when you play like Commander, when you play Brawl is actually the format if you're still hanging around anime. You run into some very degenerate cards, some that are even banned in Commander, like Raphellos. I might have to mulligan, as good as this hand is. I don't want to. I'm not going to. This is a very bad hand to keep against this commander. But it's fine. Hello. Nice deck. So they're untapping with 6 mana. Is Waterlog Teachings a good card for Azula, just because I need the search? Waterlog Teaching, I like it because the front side, if you attack with Azula, you get 2 of them. And you can use the firebending mana, so you would only have to spend 2. And you can also search for either your instant, or more importantly, your card with flash. So your creatures that you can flash out and... what's the word? Your creatures that you can flash out and... I have swamps. I need island. You can get your flash enablers, basically, is the huge thing. How dead am I? I'm very dead, right? Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to pass my turn. Last time you played MTG Arena, the first rank you're in, someone had a deck with 5 2-card infinite combos. We love that. Yippee. Other elves get a buff. I'm in desperate need of a board wipe. Yeah, sure, that's fine. 1 plus the sacrificed creature's mana value? What would they sacrifice here, though? Yeah, you got it. Hit me. I don't think they sacrifice anything here, right? Oh, they look first and then they can sacrifice. Right. Do 3-man commander pods work? 3-man commander pods can work. I'm so dead. I'm so dead. I'm just gonna give them their go free. Discard your creature and search for whatever you want, opponent. 3-player commander pods get a little wonky with certain commanders. So, think, for example, commander decks that really want to go and put a bunch of equipment onto one creature or something like that. Alright, this will be game, by the way, just an FYI. Because show me Crater Hoof, give every creature +5/+5, send in for game. Not Crater Hoof. Also bad, but not Crater Hoof. Thinking. 8, 14. You know what? I'll take it. This is fine. Blocking here would do nothing except ensure that I lose the game. Most of the time, you'll be fine. Especially if you're just sitting down and playing, like, casual Commander, having a good time. 3-man pods work great. some players don't enjoy playing in them because certain commanders get wonky. Is, I think, the best way to put it. How do I even attempt a win here? I think Zapandrel. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, no, that's not how that works at all. Okay. To blockers. You just have a 3-person Brook when it's not the store's Friday Magic, you can't find a 4th. Opponent, you should definitely let the copy resolve, opponent, please. Okay, well, I just realized that was largely meaningless. Very dead. What I should have done is sawed in half my own High Fate Trickster. Good game. If I saw in half my own High Fate Trickster there, I get at least 3 blockers. Hi, Bill. Which lets me try to draw into... I would need an Exile board wipe to live. Like, it's bad. I was not winning this game, and I knew it based on the hand I kept. But, like, what I'm doing right here is actually a great example of how 3-man pods can get a little bit wonky. In a 1v1 pod, if I don't have an answer, I just lose. Like that game, I didn't have removal for any of the creatures that were cast. I didn't have a board wipe, so I just lost. It can get very swingy like that, where if in a 4-player pod, if one person is popping off, the other 3 players, it's more likely with an extra person that someone has an answer. But it also doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, if you're having a good time jamming games with your buddies, that's all that really matters. Let's jam one more Azula game. And then, depending on how quick or slow or humiliated I get, we'll maybe go back to editing our deck. Oh my goodness. The other thing about this game mode, anime, is that any artifact or creature on the battlefield, your commander can be a planeswalker. And some of these are definitely not designed to do that. I'm just gonna lead land, it's fine. Some of these planeswalkers should definitely not be commanders. Ugin is one of them. There's a Otter Ral from Bloomburrow, also should not be. Destroy target land. Or sack search for land. Okay. How's it going, Dublin? Long time no chat. I'm just gonna play Darksteel Ingot. I'll ramp, it's fine. Okay. They've played a lot of utility lands, which I guess you can do that with colorless, right? I love this card so much. On Arena only, because it's terrible in paper, because the cost is different. As long as no one brings Rakdos Ping again, you'll be happy. Lord of Pain is some bull. That's one of the... Yup, that would exactly be why. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they have Ugin's Labyrinth, then I will most likely be losing Azula here. If they do not, everything is great and I'm fine. I guess I could Ghost Quarter if they had Labyrinth, right? Hey, why are you looking at my commander? Stop that. Oh yeah, that's fine. I like doing crime, and if you let me attack with my commander, I'm very happy. Maze Mind Tome. That's a good card. They want to save that, I would assume. They want to draw a card. So let's attack. And siphon some insight. And siphon some insight. I'll take this one, I guess? Sure. I'll take this one. No max hand size is fine. Just drop by to see if everyone had a good holiday. It was very nice. Words. I spent some time with some family. Got to do a few things here and there. Oh, does this target? Oh. Hold on. I'm going to turn off their commander. I'm going to lose Azula, but that's a small price to pay. Yes, that can happen. Go to the command zone. If they have a 1-drop... Okay, good. Cool. Ugin has lost all abilities. And I am a happy boy. And in the process, in the downtime, let's send damage face as much as possible. No, I got some magic cards that I was happy about. I was brewing some decks earlier and took a break to play some magic. I picked up both Astrobot as well as Expedition 33. And the missus has been loving Astrobot, which is great. And then Expedition 33, I think I'm going to be jamming when we reach 500 subs, which is very close, very around the corner. That's hot. Also, some cards in this format are not banned, and they are banned in Commander. Cloud Key, that's pretty nice. Wait, hold on. So, this is a card that says, whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. Case in point, they're going off. It's kind of crazy. Witness, however, though, you may have this creature enter as a copy of any artifact or creature on the battlefield. So I kind of like their combo and want it myself. Absolutely. If you enjoy hanging out and chatting, I'm glad to have you stick around. Man, they're kind of popping off. The End Stone? Okay. This is real good for them. Yeah. So they're popping off. If they have another spell to play, this is huge for them. They're kind of going crazy. I might die here. Wait, no, hold on. I have a response. Okay. I forgot about Glaring Fleshraker. Yeah. I forgot that we can just do that. That's fine. All of that is fine to happen. Now, they're still going off is the thing. This is the scary thing, is that their turn is far from over until they hit a land on top of, 2 lands on top of their deck. Uh-huh. This is really fun. I enjoy this greatly. Please, I'm trying to pass my turn. This is incredible. The fact is, they can also go reasonably as deep as they want. Ooh, what kind of cake did you make? Are we dead? We're not dead, but they can play their whole deck, basically. This is really cool. The End Stone into the Mystic Forge was crazy. High Ultima. Okay. So, my current plan is hope I get to untap. I'm glad I stole their Reliquary Tower, actually, because this is theirs. Hope I get to untap with my Chromatic Orrery in play. Cast Metamorph, copy their Paradox Engine, cast River's Rebuke, cast my commander. And maybe draw something meaningful from the top of my deck. Like, that is my only... And even then, if I cast my commander, it's definitely getting exiled when they cast their commander again, because it's no longer losing its abilities. Oh, Ugin's online. Okay. So, what now? The emblem is tough. Nice. I'm getting smacked for a lot. Probably lethal. Oh no, not lethal, because it just puts 3 counters on a thing, right? Yeah, okay. Alright, yep. We will be dying here because they will lose. They're gonna pop my Mana Rock. This is really cool. The fact that I have one floating colorless in my mana pool means that it is constantly asking me if I want to do anything with it, even though I can't. The fact that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a TCG is crazy. Not too crazy considering Cyberpunk Universes had one called Netrunner. I've heard of Netrunner, but I don't know what it's from. I mean, now I do because it's from Cyberpunk, right? But does that mean that Cyberpunk 2077 was an existing franchise before then? Ooey gooey butter cake. And I have a strong urge for pound cake. You realize now you were 2 minutes behind. Hey, listen. Sometimes that's it. Sometimes you're just taking the slow path, and that's more than okay. Hey, resolve all, please. I really want to auto-pass, and the fact that I have floating mana means that I'm not auto-passing. Cyberpunk is a long-running franchise? I had no clue. Colorless spells cost 2 less to cast, as if there was any struggle with mana before this. So the bad news is, even when I tap even when I do my thing, I am losing. I'm not winning this, but I'm just happy to be here. Started as a genre of books, then became a tabletop game, which evolved into the game we have now. Oh, they left all 25 cards on top. How fortuitous. Hot dog, they attacked. Vexing Bauble, okay, okay. That's why the video game had so much hype behind it. I thought that it was just like, hey, we got Keanu Reeves, and this is really cool. Yeah. Good job, opponent. Alright, that does not help me in the slightest. Let's pay some life. Yeah. Paradox Engine. River's Rebuke. They had a counter spell. Okay. I'll cast my commander. Good game. Yep. Good game. This deck went crazy hard, and they had, like, the perfect sequence of top decks to do this. They can now do whatever they want, and they get to exile my commander. So... yeah. Who do you think you should run for the 3-man pod? Zombies, Azula, Frodo Sam, and Eowyn? The correct answer is whatever your heart tells you. The other answer is if you are specifically thinking about power level and wanting to be in a strong position, Azula or Eowyn. Just because, like, Azula, there is one less player to have removal for your for your stuff. And you 2-for-1 everything. Let's just pop your guy. Your answer's dinosaurs always. Pantlaza is a crazy card. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're very dead. Hi, Illumog. They said enough of that. Sit down. Yeah, sure. I really want to stop telling me, hey, do you want to do anything here? Bumbleflower Sharepot. It's not going to tell me anything, yes? Okay, cool. Frodo and Salmon Zombies are also, like, they're all very good and fun commanders to play. They're all great. Do you really need more mana? Does your greed know no bounds, opponent? You have 35 floating mana in your mana pool. You have, I'm sorry, you have 35 colorless mana in your mana pool, not to mention the other colors. This is the greed they spoke of in the Bible. What a sweet play. This is why, fun fact, this card is banned in Commander. Because this kind of happens. We're not dead, right? I was gonna say, you wouldn't hit my Reliquary Tower, would you? I just realized I don't have red. I was gonna say, please tell me you have lethal on me. They had exactly lethal, which is something. Okay. And we are running right up into where I call it. So anime, I typically do Magic on Mondays, but then on Wednesdays and Fridays I do whatever game I'm working through. Right now it's been a survival simulator called Rain World, which is very, it drew my attention a while back, and I've been loving it. The community's great. Like, I've been having a good time with it. Next up, like I said, Expedition 33. But I'm always willing to talk Magic and get distracted by Magic cards and stuff like that, so I'm happy to have you around, especially if you have any questions. Welcome to the game, welcome to the channel. This is where I'm going to call it. Speaking of Final Fantasy, that was an ADHD tangent. Speaking of games that I play, which I played Final Fantasy recently, Final Fantasy music is playing. I'm going to leave. My brain is on max speed. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, chilling, chatting, jamming Commander, building some decks. Nice to meet you, everybody who stopped through for the first time. Anime Outcast and Liam, I think, come to mind specifically. Hypnoticris, too. Welcome, welcome. I will be back on Wednesday, as per usual, with my Rain World run. We are one ending done of the last campaign. We need 3 more. But until then, take care of yourselves, and as always, remember to tell the people you care about that you love them. I'll see you later. Bye!